Hey, this is Kara. I'm here today with Allison O'Shea, one of my very, very best and brightest students, and she's going to play this duet with me. This is Laurie. This is I got the inspiration for this based on a Nina Zannetti arrangement that I found online, and then I kind of took her tablature, which was fabulous, and just kind of messed it all up, and then wrote a second part to it. So here's my messed up Nina Zannetti version of Nina Zannetti's arrangement of Laurie with my even more messed up second part. You ready to try this duet with me? Okay, once again, you can look at karabarnard.com if you can't find me anywhere else and ask me for the hard copy tablature for this. I'll send you a PDF, or I'll write it down with an old-fashioned quill pen and roll it up on a scroll,
parchment,
and put it in a bottle with that person's name on it, and I'll throw it in a creek somewhere.
Or carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon, there you go, carrier pigeon. That's a service that needs to come back. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and... Not bad at all. Let's break down these parts for the good folks. Before we go on, though, Allison plays a New Harmony dulcimer made by the fine folks down in New Harmony, Indiana. This is made by Bill Berg. You've all heard me talk about this one before, and my beautiful McSpadden is on the wall over there. Okay, let's both play this advanced version. And when you look at this advanced version, is there anything that stands out in your mind as to like what they should be careful of when they're playing it?
The quarter notes.
The quarter notes.
Lots of eighth notes.
So one thing that gets Allison is when I write arrangements where I've got piles of eighth notes and then there's a quarter note somewhere in the middle of that measure, a lot of times what Allison will do is she'll highlight that quarter note to remind herself, hey, this is not an eighth note, this is a quarter note. That's one of your issues. I do this so much that that's not so much an issue for me. The thing that stands out to me in this arrangement of the advanced version is that 5, 6, 6 plus. How are you, if we look at the second line down, which would be the second measure, how are you fingering that?
In the first measure I'm using for the 7, and then the 6 plus, I'm using my thumb.
You're using
so that I can go ahead and just get those down.
Okay, so you're going like this, middle finger, index. So let's see if I can do it at this angle. Now that's a really good idea because there's not a lot of movement there. Mm-hmm. What I'm questioning for myself is until I practice that, and they all know how I want them to practice it, you put the right fingers down and you lift up and you put them down and you keep doing that until you get the muscle memory. I have not done that myself, and so what I'm wondering is if you and I play this together right now, am I going to remember to place those fingers there? I'm not sure that I will, because I would probably have a tendency to go at that blindly with my third finger, middle finger, and pointer finger in that 5, 6, 6 plus. And what that means, if I go to it like that, I'm going to have to go slide my index up, and then my pinky's going to be left to grab that 5 underneath it. And that feels a little awkward. If I remember to do it your way with the thumb, that is so nice.
And you have to catch that 7 and 6 on the line before with your thumb.
Oh, that's where you're lining it. You're getting ready for that finger placement on the first full measure. Right. So you're going 5, 8, right here. Oh, but that would be wrong. That's what we're going for. See what I mean? I haven't practiced this part, you know? Okay, I got it. Let's talk about the very first move on this, because you don't always have to do hammer-ons and pull-offs like I write into these pieces. You can always just pick them. Pick, 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 pick. But what I've suggested is kind of cool. You hit the 5 and the 8, pull the 8 off, and then the 5, like that. So it's this cascading sound. Okay? That's a cool move, but it's not necessary. Anything else stand out as like potential trouble? I'm not seeing anything terribly. One thing that I've been
unless it's
catching that
there.
Yeah, on measure 6, at the very end of measure 6, you've got a note that comes in on the and of the 4 beat. So
7.
Measure 7, yeah, measure 7. It would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that last note comes in on the 4 and beat, okay? All right, so let's both of us try to play this advanced version. I want you to cover me because I wrote it out and then I haven't played it at all. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Cool beans. All right. So I think that with the, if you keep in mind what Alice and I were talking about at the very beginning of this and really practice your fingering, you'll be fine on this. It's when you use weird fingerings for chord shapes and then all of a sudden you've got to follow that measure with something else. That's when you can really trip yourself up. I speak from experience. So that was great that you showed me how you were fingering that right away because that's important. Now on the dulcimer 2 part, there isn't anything terribly difficult about this. The hardest part about dulcimer 2 is knowing when to stop, where the rests are, and where the 8th notes are, because I've got some strange little timing things here. Let's see, measure 9, you've got the really nice little measure of harmonics, and that second harmonic comes in on the and beat of the 2. So measure 9 should sound like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay? Now, I've told you this a million times. I'll tell you one more time today. We saw it happen yesterday in class when I had only one student was playing dulcimer 2. Nancy was playing dulcimer 2. You were on 1, and I was playing the simplified version with all the rest of the students to keep them with their timing right. And Nancy was like, I'm not getting those harmonics loud enough. And I'm like, well, remember the technique I told you, which is take your pick, get it up nice and close here, and you hold your pick like this, but if you cup it like that, if you cup it around your thumb, then all of a sudden it takes on the qualities of a harder, stiffer pick, and you're going to be able to get more volume out of your harmonics. So anytime I hit a harmonic, I put that little cup in there, and so Nancy she went like, oh yeah, and then she went bing, bing, and had kind of a funny look on her face, like, and then I made some kind of a joke like, see what happens when you remember what I tell you to do, it works. I should always remember what I tell you guys to do, and it would be very helpful to me too. Let's go ahead. I'm going to throw you into the deep end of the pool because you've never played this dulcimer 2 part. Why don't you go ahead and try to play it with me? And if you make a few mistakes, I'm kind of doubting that you will. But if you do, I'll be here to cover you because I've played this one a few times, I think. Have I? No, I mostly played that simplified part yesterday.
I think you played that every time.
Okay, here's dulcimer 2. Now, when you play dulcimer 2 parts, remember they don't sound like much by themselves. They're not designed for that. And that's sometimes why they're hard to play. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4. Gotcha. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, great. And I think, I don't remember, but like I said earlier, the arrangement that I found online by Nina Zannetti, Nina, I know Nina, I'm saying that right. She won the competition, the national, in 2008, I believe. Anyway, her arrangement was not at all like this, but I think you could play all of these parts that I've written
With hers?
with hers, and it should match up. It should fit. Just for the sake of doing it, let's put you back on the advanced dulcimer part, and I'm going to play the simplified dulcimer part that I was playing yesterday with some of my beginner students. What I like to do is, when I have group lessons, sometimes when there's not enough of you to have 2 separate lessons, I'll throw you all in together, and then I create a song, an arrangement of a song in which I can really challenge my advanced students like you, and then I can also give my beginning students something to work on too. So this is the beginning part, what I'm calling the simplified part. If you order the tablature from me, you'll get all 3 parts. So I'll play the simplified part. Let's see what it sounds like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
I assume you wanted us to play the right notes during that.
The ones that were written, unless you had some better ideas and you wanted to improvise.
I thought I thought I'd throw in a few wrong ones. Spice it up.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a wrong note on a dulcimer. You were just embellishing the arrangement as it was. So yesterday when we were all playing all three parts together, I thought it sounded really neat. So if you've got buddies that want to play these parts with you, that's fantastic. Always remember you can find me at karabarnard.com, send me a message, let me know, or you can Facebook message me and let me know that you want to get a PDF copy of this tablature. And Allison, thank you very much for doing this with me today.
Thank you for asking me.
All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.